Certainly, one of the most beautiful incidents in the life of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is known as the miracle of the spider's web. It occurred during the Hijrah, the Prophet's migration from Mecca to Medina, which was a perilous journey due to the Quraysh tribe's pursuit. Legend has it that as the Prophet and his companion Abu Bakr sought refuge in the cave of Thor, their pursuers approached. Standing at the mouth of the cave, Abu Bakr feared discovery and became anxious. In response, the Prophet reassured him with profound calmness, saying, "Do not grieve, for Allah is with us." As their pursuers drew near, they reached the entrance of the cave, but remarkably, Allah caused a spider to weave a web across the opening. Simultaneously, a pair of doves nested nearby, laying eggs, further concealing the presence of the Prophet and his companion. Witnessing this, the pursuing Quraysh concluded that no one could have entered the cave recently without breaking the spider's web or disturbing the nesting doves. Consequently, they abandoned their pursuit. This miraculous incident not only ensured the safety of the Prophet and Abu Bakr but also illustrated Allah's divine protection and reassurance during challenging times. It serves as a profound example of faith, trust, and divine intervention in the life of Prophet Muhammad. Another beautiful incident from the life of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is the story of the Jewish boy who was ill. According to the narration, a young Jewish boy who used to serve the Prophet fell sick. The Prophet Muhammad visited him, sat by his bedside, and kindly invited him to embrace Islam. The boy glanced at his father, seeking his permission. The father, who was present, told his son to obey the Prophet Muhammad and accept his invitation. The boy then embraced Islam, and the Prophet left, praying for the boy's recovery. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, had a well-documented way of praying, known as Salah or Salat. Here are the detailed aspects of his prayer. 1. Intention, Niyya. Before starting the prayer, the Prophet would make a clear intention in his heart about which prayer he was going to perform, e.g., Fajr, Dhuhr, Asr, Maghrib, or Isha. 2. Takbir al-Ihram, opening Takbir. To start the prayer, the Prophet would raise his hands to his ears and say, "Allahu Akbar, Allah is the greatest." 3. Standing, Qiyam. The Prophet would stand upright, facing the Qibla, direction of the Kaaba in Mecca, with his feet spaced apart and his hands folded over his chest or below the navel. 4. Recitation of Quran, Al-Fatiha, and additional verses. In each unit, Rak'ah, of the prayer, the Prophet would recite Surah Al-Fatiha, the opening chapter of the Quran, and usually another portion of the Quranic verses. 5. Ruku, bowing. The Prophet would then bow down from the standing position, placing his hands on his knees and keeping his back straight. 6. Sujud, prostration. From the bowing position, the Prophet would go into prostration, placing his forehead, nose, palms, knees, and toes on the ground, with elbows raised. 7. Tashahhud, testification of faith. After the prostration, the Prophet would sit briefly and recite the Tashahhud, which includes bearing witness that there is no God but Allah and that Muhammad is his messenger. 8. Salat upon the Prophet, Salat al-Ibrahimiyya. Following the Tashahhud, the Prophet would send blessings upon himself and his family. 9. Completion, Taslim. To conclude the prayer, the Prophet would turn his face to the right and say, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Peace and mercy of Allah be upon you, and then to the left, repeating the same words. 10. Congregational prayer, Jama'ah. The Prophet encouraged praying in congregation, with one person leading as the Imam. He established guidelines for how the Imam and the congregation should pray together. 11. Optional acts. The Prophet sometimes added optional acts, such as saying additional supplications, dua, during different parts of the prayer, especially during the bowing and prostration. The way Prophet Muhammad prayed serves as a model for Muslims to follow in performing their obligatory prayers 5 times a day. His mannerisms, posture, and recitations have been meticulously recorded and passed down through generations, forming an essential part of Islamic worship and spiritual practice.
If you like my video, then like and subscribe to the channel. Press bell icon for more Islamic video.